Mike Pendleton here, MMAsucker.com, and today talking to one half of the main event of the PFL playoffs on August 23rd, the one and only Kai Kamaka. Kai, you've made time for me all year, and I appreciate it each and every fight. Hopefully you're not sick of talking to me yet, but man, we're here. The playoffs are here. How you feeling?
Hey, hopefully you guys are not sick of seeing me because yeah, we get done with this one and then hopefully we got one more.
That's the beauty of the PFL, right? Like, according to your plan, you got 4 fights this year. Other people may only have 2, some may have 3, but you plan to have 4, and I'm so excited for this fight. It's you taking on former champion Brendan Loughnane. I'll just jump right into it. What do you make of Brendan Loughnane as an opponent, former PFL champion, exciting striker? What do you make of him?
Yeah, I mean, you said he's striker, in and out type of guy. Um, he's been with the PFL pretty much what they've been here 6 years. He's been with them 5. So I mean, he's been one of the big pushes of PFL for a while. So I mean, glad I get to be fighting him, especially in this stint to become PFL champion.
Yeah, is it a fun path for you to go? All right, I'm going to take out a former champ on my way to the championship. This is, like you said, a guy who's been a mainstay with the PFL. It definitely sends a message.
Yeah, I mean, all the guys like Bubba Jenkins, Pedro Carvalho, and then now Brendan Loughnane. You get through those 3 guys. Uh, that's probably like the most stacked lineup in the PFL season. If somebody was to get through them all and then win a world title, so and then you get to have Brendan Loughnane on there, that's even better. That's for me. That's the biggest thing. This is my title fight. If in my opinion, this is bigger than me for me um than the championship
Can I ask
because this
why that
will
is?
this will this will be different. Like different. You win this fight. This will hold a lot more weight than the championship, in my opinion.
Well, that championship would be, 2 wins away. Obviously, you get the Loughnane win, then it's only 1 win away. But it is a belt and it is $1 million check. Has it said? I know, obviously, having a coach like Eric Nixick and the team that you have, you just kind of keep focused on the task at hand. But you've been in a lot of high profile fights. But has it set in that just 2 more victories this year and you got that belt, you got that check?
No, never sit in. Never sit. I mean, I really only, I'm being honest. This fight is more important to me than a championship. Just because it's gonna hold more weight, like for me, to win this fight, um, for the PFL, I'll beat their boy, um, and then I came like just my path, and so this holds more weight for me. I can take this one in me further past this, you know.
How would you describe your season then? Obviously, it's been nothing but successful, but you yourself beating the names you've beat, now having this opportunity to face Lockman, how would you describe, your run with the PFL so far?
It's been good. It's been good. Like, I mean, I just worry about the task at hand. I'm not worried about like names as far as like the 3 letters, because that obviously can change with any circumstance. Like in my case, it like I've changed promotions for different circumstances. Some out of most of them out of my control. Or I mean, yeah, I go from UFC. I fight my contract out. I didn't get cut. I didn't get re-signed, but I had a weird stint there. Then I go to Bellator right away, and then I go to PFL, kind of naturally. So I mean, the stint has been good so far. Yeah, it's been good. The Bubba Jenkins fight really excited me. Just because I like you want to beat a guy like that aura. If there's a guy you'd want to freaking you can't lose to, it's not that guy. Because you're gonna hear about it, and then the Pedro Carvalho fight was like total opposite. Like Pedro wasn't doing so hot, but he was fighting. He had like a murderer's role, so but he wasn't doing so hot. So it was like, man, But I knew he was good. He beat one of my teammates, Mads Burnell. Uh, but just like I felt like I knew I was better all around, and it just kind of like I had like mental lapse in like that third round where I kind of took off just because like I couldn't yeah, I just couldn't wait for it to be over. Um, but then now this one I'm excited for. And I'm sure everybody else is too.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love that breakdown there. It does say something when you come in, and obviously, like you said, you've been in so many organizations, but when you come in with like the PFL, you're beating a guy who is very much a vocal piece like Bubba Jenkins. He's well known through the PFL. Now you've got Brendan Loughnane. I see where that path is set up for you, and what you're saying. I totally understand that. Just the performances though, you've done everything you've had to do, and now it lands you in the main event. But now we get throw out the other PFL rule sets, right? There's no points you have to worry about. You just go in there and fight your fight. I know you don't get caught up too much in the points and all that, but how much is it a relief to go, all right, just all I gotta do is win?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's all I was thinking the last fight. Because for whatever reason they told me some rule was like if Brendan or what is it, if Justin Gonzalez knocked Brendan Loughnane out in the first round, I would be out, even though he had two, he'd be 1-1. Which, if you're talking about a meritocracy, that would just be like what, like it doesn't make sense. So I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I went 2-0. I don't care. I really don't care what happens. But then they try to make a big deal out of it. Like had cameras, like 6 cameras in front of me, waiting for my reaction, and I was like, bro, like what are you talking about? I'm in. Like, and they were like, oh no, because finishes hold more of a hold more weight. And I was like, whatever. If I'm out because of that, cool. But I won my 2 fights. That's that and at worst, I won my 2 fights. So, I just, in my opinion, yeah, I wasn't too worried about the point system at all. Like, because, you can chase points and you can, you cannot look so great.
Right, right. So it's a relief now that you're just coming in and just like you said, just like the last fight, you're just focused on getting the win.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I want to, like, yeah, that's the win. The win. There's a lot of things that go into a fight, like film study, the work you put in. You're not doing this for a loss, like that. So I mean, and then how you want to win? That of course you want to win in the easiest way possible in the and then it's still a season, so um and it's gonna be kind of close right away. So it's like, yeah, I get this done in the easiest path possible. That's the main thing.
The good thing for you is, you'll be in the main event. So I would like to hope that they don't have cameras back in your locker room while you're preparing for the main event during the other semifinals. You could just focus on the task at hand. Will you be paying attention at all to the other semifinal fight?
No, no. I mean, what, like, yeah, you like you see it, right? But like
Right.
nothing, like that's about it. Like that's all the attention I'm gonna be giving to it. It's not like Brendan Loughnane is the task, and that's it.
I know you're in Coach Eric Nixick's office right now. We were just talking about that before we started the interview. Man, I mean, there's a million things to compliment not only Coach, but everyone in that gym, yourself included. What is it about the team that you have there where nobody gets caught up in narratives? Everyone just focuses on, they don't listen to outside noise. They don't listen to anything else. They just focus on the task at hand, and they don't get caught up in all the other outside surroundings.
Um, shoot, there's just a lot of professionals here, like a lot of guys that are at a high level. So I mean, and then you have the PI here. You have Vegas. The just it's so easy to be a professional athlete here, to where you kind of skip past a lot of the bullshit, and then we have us like a separation. I mean, there's amateurs that train with us, but then we have pro practices, and we have then within those practices we have good, like great team aspect. So I mean, the whole extreme couture, just where it's at location wise, you're it's you don't come to Vegas to dick around. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody means business when they come here. Everybody's looking out for each other. So I mean, I think that that's a big part of it. And then you have the coaches that you have in here. I mean, you have Randy who's been in here more often. You know, we've seen him more often recently. So you get to see guys like that still walking around. Um, and Coach Eric is busy, but busy for a reason. You know, he's training the highest level of guys. So
Yeah, and had so much success doing it. Now I see the one teammate behind you, very notorious right now, and that's Dan Ige. You were involved in the madness of Dan Ige stepping up on the most shortest of short notice fights. Just real quickly, can I ask you about that and just what that was like for you to kind of be involved in that just right after your fight as well?
right, um, yeah, it was cool. I mean, that's just that like that's how we roll. I mean, we're like we if you call us to fight, we're gonna fight, and then you're gonna call then you call us. You know, like who else like. You know that day we were like, of course this would be us in here. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking, we're like all looking and like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? But it's like this exactly us. Like Herzog was there, Cooper Neal was there. They were in South Dakota as well. Cooper Neal was taking pictures. Herzog was reffing. So we all had cool different stories. But then I had my own story too. I just fought. I landed. Um, and then Coach Eric calls me like 2 o'clock at first, and then 4 o'clock. Then like 4 o'clock got more serious, and then boom, like I was jumping in um, Ali's car to head to the T-Mobile Arena, right, like right at 4:30. So I mean, yeah, the whole thing was cool. I mean, the whole experience is cool.
I think that obviously says a lot about the whole team, but just as someone who is teammates with him, what does that say to you about Dan Ige?
Oh, I mean, straight up G. I mean, as fighters, a lot of us would take that opportunity, right? Um, but yeah, like he showed no hesitation at all. And he like I was just glad to be a part of that process, knowing like I was one of those guys he was gonna call in that instance. He could have called anybody else, but I mean, I've cornered Dan prior, but yeah, it was just that just speaks to what it is. Like, yeah, he didn't hesitate at all.
And it also speaks to you to, some fighters would look the other way saying, hey, I just had a fight. I need to relax. I need to rest. But you talked about the professionalism, the connection that all you guys have in there. So my hat off to you as well for, getting, not making it about you and just getting in with your teammate and all that.
I
Last
was
one here.
having a I was having a full on party at my house. And I left. I left. Like I ordered a bunch of food for like my family just to enjoy the victory. And then once I got the call, I was out.
That is amazing. So what do you just tell your vet? Like, I gotta go. Like, it's time to go corner.
Well, I let them know like a few or like when I first got the call, I told my cousin Ray, he was in town, because he came to my fight, and then we flew back to Vegas, and then we kind of talked about the idea. Man, it's cool. Like, and then I told my wife like I'm gonna have to go, and she's like, oh yeah, you gotta go. Just take the kids out of the pool before you leave, and then it was like that.
The last time we talked, you said your life is nothing but fighting and family. So I believe that, and I love that. That's an amazing story. Last one here for me, Kai, and I always appreciate your time. What should fans, not only in Washington, D.C., but fans tuning in on August 23rd, what should they expect when you face Brendan Loughnane?
Oh, they should expect the best version of myself. I feel the best that I felt all season. Um, for different reasons, the excitement. This is the healthiest I've been. Um, Injury wise, going into a fight this year. Yeah, so I've had to like get through the past two fights with injuries, and which I didn't know how I was gonna get through, but I did, and I've healed up pretty well. Got through them. So I mean, you can expect the best version of myself in there, physically and mentally.
A fully healthy Kai Kamaka is a joy for
Yeah.
all of us. I'm definitely not sick of talking to you. Hopefully, it's not the same. It's the same for you. And I'm going to plan to talk to you a fourth time this year. So I'm very much looking forward to it, Kai. All the best to you. Thank you very much for the time, and I can't wait to see you fight Brendan Loughnane. Main event, August 23rd in Washington, D.C.
Thank you.
Thank you.